often you'll be watching television and a commercial will come on for an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety medicine, and it'll list all the things that the medicine does for you and also the consequences or side effects of the medicine. And there was a time not that long ago when we would have symptoms, we would go to our doctor, the doctor would evaluate us and decide what medicine we needed to be on. But now we're in a situation where people are kind of being marketed to directly from the pharmaceutical companies, whether it be through television or magazines that you read. You'll see ads for all kinds of anti-anxiety and antidepressants in magazines too. Um, so we're in a situation now where we have a very heavily medicated society, and I'm going to talk to you about my own dilemma called I call it rational psychosis, and um, this is going to be inside the realm of all the other diagnoses that are out there. One of the things I have to say is once you have anything that's considered a mental illness, you lose a lot of credibility. There's a lot of stigma. If you have depression, people think you're weak and you can't handle things. If you have anxiety problems, people think you're crazy, out of touch with reality. So there's a lot of things that are still out there, but we're having more people that you know are, are either affected or know somebody that's affected by some of these problems. So I want to try to outline how you, being of sound mind, can understand perceived delusion. Um, I know from the outside looking in, it's sometimes hard to get a handle on things. And unfortunately, psychiatry is a very speculative field, and there's a lot of guesswork, and a lot of people are still, you know, 40 in, and they think everything has to come from psychoanalysis. There's a lot of biochemical as well, and there's a lot of things that we don't understand. What rational psychosis isn't? It isn't conspiracy. There are movies out there like A Beautiful Mind or Conspiracy Theory, and with conspiracy, you're really thinking about a group of people that are out to get you, that are working together to get you. And no, it's not. In my view, it's not a group of people. It's it's not Jewish people. It's not white people. It's not black people. It's not any particular organization. It's more of with rational psychosis. It's good and it's evil. Concepts that we all grew up with. We all wanted the good guy to win. We all rooted for the hero. It's good and evil. And the thing about good and evil is, if you're a good person, you can't comprehend evil. You can't, a person who's evil can act good. They can act nice, but you can't go in the other direction. If you're a good person, you can't do evil things. You can't because you're inhibited by your conscience. And an evil person obviously doesn't have that. They enjoy other people's pain. They're just the polar opposites. And it's beyond our comprehension because it's been my experience that most people assume people are like them in the way they think and view things. And no, we see things in our society every day that shows us there are some people who are far different than us. Rational psychosis does not involve conjecture. There's not supposition, there's not guesswork or hypothesis. It's facts. It's facts, and it's facts that are to be found by anyone who looks for them. What it is an assimilation of those facts, where you take the facts and you kind of string them together and see where it leads you. Now that's where your own perspective or your own point of view is going to come into play. And then you apply the information that you have. So we have no conjecture, we have just facts, just the facts. We have assimilation, application. I'm going to illustrate this using famous people. Starting with Bruce Springsteen. He's probably the most popular rock and roll star there is in the world. And he's beloved by many. But there are some things about him that you don't want to believe are true. And you don't know if they are or not. Like, for example, on the cover of his Born in the USA album, is he really urinating on the American flag, as many people believe he is? I don't know. I wasn't there. Looks that way, but maybe not. On his first album, he had the phrase, "The devil appeared like Jesus through the steam in the street, showing me a hand I knew even the cops couldn't beat." There's also a phrase on one of his other songs on one of his later albums: "I made a deal with the devil I can't deny." Does that make him an antichrist? Well, they're songs. There are other things that you can investigate about him that could lead you one direction or the other, but certainly his image is that of the all-around humble rock star. People admire him profusely. So with Bruce Springsteen, we also have Maureen Orth. Maureen Orth wrote for Newsweek magazine back in 1975. When Bruce Springsteen appeared on a cover of that magazine, she wrote the cover story. In 1975, in October of 1975, Bruce Springsteen appeared on the cover of Time and Newsweek simultaneously while still an unknown. How that happens? Again, this is where you decide, okay, it just happened that way. Maureen Orth was the writer for that cover story. And there's a connection between another huge Bruce Springsteen fan, Tim Russert, and Maureen Orth. Tim Russert and Maureen Orth got married. Tim Russert, in his book about his father, he mentioned Bruce Springsteen a couple of times and what a huge fan he was. So there's a connection there. And, what does it mean? I don't know. I have my own theories, but my theories would be considered probably by a lot of people far-fetched. But I do know that Tim Russert has a connection to Barack Obama. Tim Russert was a moderator for Meet the Press, and Barack Obama was supposed to be coming on the show to be interviewed, and Tim Russert had some ideas about things that he was going to ask Barack Obama about. But unfortunately, Tim Russert had a heart attack before this could happen, and he died. And what he was going to talk to Barack Obama about was his ties to domestic terrorism with a man named William Ayers. William Ayers was the leader of the Weather Underground, and in the early 70s, and conducted terrorist attacks on buildings, bombings on federal buildings. And Bill Ayers was going to be the subject of conversation with Barack Obama, and Tim Russert never got to ask those questions. And Andrew Breitbart has a connection with William Ayers as well. Andrew Breitbart was a conservative blogger and columnist. And Andrew Breitbart actually claimed to have gotten footage, somewhat incriminating footage, that we don't know exactly what it was because it never saw the light of day. But Andrew Breitbart was alluding to the footage showing the relationship between Barack Obama and William Ayers. And if you remember when that first came out with the 2008 election, during the campaign, Sarah Palin actually said Barack Obama and William Ayers palled around, and of course they blew it off and said that they barely knew each other and these other things. But you can go on the internet and find out that William Ayers himself claims that he ghostwrote Barack Obama's first book. So you need to decide for yourself who's telling the truth. I don't know. I mean, this is just information that's unsettling, but it's out there. And Andrew Breitbart was going to be vetting the president, as he said, but Andrew Breitbart collapsed and died, and I think it was heart problems with him too. And people have gone in different directions, and that's when you have people say they're conspiratorial or they're not based in reality. But it just depends on what your tolerance for coincidence is, I guess.